I want to talk about two cities, specifically Omaha, Nebraska, and Chicago, Illinois. I lived in Bellevue, Nebraska, which is a suburb of Omaha, Nebraska, and I noticed that the majority of Black people lived in North Omaha. And it's my understanding, based on just observation and reading, that the majority of Black people in Chicago live in the South Side. And that's also based on a conversation I've had with a friend of mine. They live in the South Side. And it's been that way since 1919. Would you like to know why? Let me tell you. The summer of 1919 was called the Red Summer. The Red Summer was when white mobs, white people, attacked Black people and Black communities. Acts of violence, riots, massacres covered the United States in over 36 cities with recorded 97 lynchings. 97 recorded lynchings. Okay. Now, in Omaha, Nebraska, Agnes Lobeck and her fiance, Milton, I believe it was Milton Foreman, were coming home late one night from the movie. They were attacked by Willie Brown. This is what was alleged. Willie Brown attacked them, robbed them, and violated Agnes, 19-year-old Agnes. Here's the thing. Willie Brown had acute rheumatoid arthritis. Yes. Regardless, he was taken to the Douglas County Courthouse. He was taken there because they took Willie to Agnes's house, had her ID him. When they were coming out of her house was already surrounded by a mob of white people saying, "Lynch him." They managed to take him first to the jail. They said the jail is not secure enough, so they took him to the courthouse. Next day at the Douglas County Courthouse, a mob of 5,000 white people are standing outside saying, "Bring him out." They wanted to lynch him. They created such a ruckus. They broke in the windows. They broke out the doors. They are inside. The deputies, the sheriffs, they're trying to reason with the crowd. You cannot reason with a white mob trying to lynch a Black man. The mayor even went outside trying to reason with the crowd. They hanged him. Somebody else went and saved the white mayor from being hanged by his own constituents. Inside, the deputy, the sheriff, had taken the inmates, including Willie Brown, to the 4th floor of the Douglas County Courthouse, which has now been set on fire. They're screaming, "Let us out, let us out, let us out." And the crowd is saying, "Give us Willie Brown and we'll let you out." Eventually, they gave the crowd Willie Brown, and the crowd lynched Willie Brown. They dragged his corpse behind a crowd through town, and it took the militia to bring peace. In the aftermath, they started putting in restrictive covenants, and restrictive covenants were in housing contracts, and it told white people that if you were to sell your house, you could not sell to a person who was not white. And when a Black person bought a home, they steered Black people to the area that they were already living in, and that was North Omaha. In Chicago, a Black boy was swimming in Lake Michigan with his friends. He accidentally crossed the arbitrary color line, and a white man started throwing rocks at him, hit him in the head. He fell underwater and drowned. The white cop would not arrest him, and it sparked a riot that lasted days. White gangs targeted Black people to kill them. There were not enough cops to help anybody, white or black. They deputized white people who sided with white gangs. And the white gangs set a black apartment building on fire. And yes, it took the militia to come in and bring peace. And in the aftermath, what did they do? Tell me. Restrictive covenants. And remind me again, what did the restrictive covenant say? That if you were to sell your home, you cannot sell to a non-white person. And if a black person came in trying to buy a house, they steered them to the area that black people already lived in. And in Chicago, black people were already living in a very tiny sliver of Chicago. And then what did not help? What didn't help? The New Deal comes in, and the FHA comes in. And the FHA had baked in institutionalized racism. We'll talk about the FHA and the HOLC and how it lended itself to hypersegregation. You see, when you drive through town and you notice that there are pockets of black communities, Hispanic communities, Asian communities, and you wonder why, when segregation was outlawed, deemed unconstitutional, institutional racism did that. That's why.